everyone talks about putting on the hijab, um, but I've realized nobody really talks about the part where your friends who knew the old version of you and haven't met this version of you. And lately, I've been asking myself a question I'm almost embarrassed to admit. Um, like, I've been asking myself if I should take it off before I see them. Like, I used to tell my friends, like, yeah, I'm gonna wear the hijab. I'll be a hijabi one day. But I never really took it. I don't think they took me seriously, and I was always afraid. But during my time in Kenya, like a couple months ago, I decided to begin my hijab journey. But now that I'm back in the States, and summer's here. The first month or two, I was at home. I've been home, just chilling at home. But now that it's summer and I know I'm gonna be out, I'm terrified to see them. I'm I'm scared of seeing people who knew the old version of me. If you're new here, I recently started wearing the hijab. It's something I wanted to do for a long time. I didn't have a strong why or a reason. I mean, the basics. You're supposed to wear the hijab, right? You're supposed to you're supposed to be modest. I guess that's the basic reason, the generic reason. But I still didn't have like a reason, like a strong why. Like around last year, very, I felt convicted to wear it last year after Ramadan of 2025. But I just kept putting it off, kept putting it off. Um, Growing up, my family never forced me into it. And also in my culture, it's kind of normal not to wear it. Like a lot of women don't really wear it or they'll be on and off about it. But for some context, or to just to get to know me a little, I, oh, and please don't judge me. But my mother is Muslim and my father is Christian. I was raised in an interfaith family. So half of my family is Christian, the other half is Muslim. Growing up, I would go to Islamic school, and then I would go to Bible study when I was, yeah. But when my parents split up, sorry. But when my parents split up, I was with my mom for the most part. So I grew up Muslim. And I'm not gonna lie, when I was really young, I used to say I was both. I used to want to be both religions. I think it's because I didn't want to reject either of my parents. So to please them both, I'd say I'm both Muslim and Christian. But during college, after my first breakup, that was my first boyfriend. It was in college. I After the breakup, I went back to Islam. Like I chose it wholeheartedly. I wasn't like stuck between. I wouldn't say I was lost, but I think it was just still, I'm just navigating. Even right now, I'm navigating my 20s, right? I was navigating college, navigating my identity, right? Always wanted to wear the hijab. Like I've wanted to wear the hijab for a very long time. Like many girls, I would always say I'll do it when this time was right, when the time was right. Like when I was in middle school, I would say I would do it when I got to high school. And when I was in high school, I was like, I'm going to wear it when I go to college. And then when I got to college, I was like, when I get married. Yeah, I just kept prolonging it. Like I kept delaying it. But then last year, for some reason during Ramadan, I felt like a strong conviction. Like I felt very convicted to put it on. I don't know where it came from because I've never felt much of a pressure or felt I never felt like I needed or I wanted to wear it. But I put that off as well because I didn't feel like I was prepared. I was also really worried about how people would see me once I did. That was one of my biggest fears. It still is because I'm still like I just began this journey. Um, but yeah, but also I didn't like I said I didn't feel like I was prepared. I didn't feel like I had enough modest clothes. So I just wanted to prepare myself for when I did do it. But for some reason, like I said, but when I spent a few months in Kenya, I don't know why I say Kenya like that. But when I spent a few months in Kenya, I got the courage to do it. The thing is, I felt like it was kind of planned. Like I said, I told myself last year I would put it on this year or when I go abroad because I had plans to go abroad. I didn't want to spend Ramadan 2026 in the States, so I guess, some type of idea that I would be abroad. So I was like, when I'd go abroad, I would do it. So it was sort of premeditated. But now that I'm back in the States, and I'm navigating this whole new phase of my life, I've been I've been contemplating taking it off, taking the hijab off. The biggest thing, like I said, I'm struggling with isn't like the hijab itself. Like I feel very comfortable wearing it, like out and about, but I never wear it around my friends. I think it's the fact that all my friends know me as a certain version of me, if that makes sense. They've known me for years. They've seen me dressed a certain way. They've seen me show up a certain way. They've known me in certain environments, and now it's just different. And reality is kicking in now, and I'm getting nervous. I keep imagining their reactions and not even bad reactions because I don't think they're like that. They're not like that. They know that I wanted to, but I don't think they thought I'd be serious about it or that I'd really do it. So they know I'm Muslim. They know, like, they just haven't seen me. They haven't seen this version of me. Like, just like the reactions, the questions I might get, the surprise, the looks, and I don't know why, but that makes me so nervous. And you know what's crazy? I think it's also an identity thing too. Before I get into that, I do want to talk about the style part, the styling, the clothes, and the hijab styling part. I'm mad because why does nobody talk about how awkward the stage is? I'm still trying to figure out how I want to dress, what's my style, even the hijab, what style do I want to wear? Because I've noticed a lot of girls, they do like the loose, they don't tie it tight, or they're the turbans. I'm still trying to figure out my style. I'm trying to see what feels authentic to me. Started watching videos. I started watching TikToks and YouTube videos on how other people transitioned. I've also created like a Pinterest board of like the styles I would want to recreate. But it's still kind of hard. Like I'm still struggling on how I want to dress or how I want to present myself. Because I've tried some outfits and I look like an auntie, and it makes me mad because I don't want to look. I'm not ready for that either. I'm not ready to look like an auntie. Yeah, I'm struggling with my style right now. I've been watching, I think, Tomiwa Rodia. I've been watching her for a very long time, since like college, high school, college. And she's inspired me a lot. I think she might have inspired me to put it on because I kind of relate. I really relate to her story. I relate to her story so much. It was easier when I was abroad because I was just wearing like an ibaya. Like most women just wear ibayas. Like in Kenya, like the Somali ladies are always wearing, because a lot of the Muslims were Somali people, and they would just wear ibayas. And like recently, I've been putting a lot of pressure on myself to instantly have it all figured out. But realistically, I've only been doing this for a short amount of time. Something else I didn't expect was the pressure, and not necessarily from people in my life, mostly from myself. Because before the hijab, if I made a mistake, if I were to make a mistake, it would just be me. I feel like now that I wear it, I feel like I'm representing something bigger than myself, like a lot bigger than myself. And I think that's a lot of pressure. I don't know why I think like this, but I just feel like I'm representing a lot more. So I'm like on my best behavior for the most part. I don't know. I'm trying not to like restrict myself because I still want to be myself. And that's what I guess that's part of the new identity, right? As well. That I'm trying to navigate. It feels like I am transitioning. So I'm transitioning into a new identity in a sense. So it's a lot of like navigation, a lot of errors, failing, yeah. But I think mostly it's because when I scroll on TikTok on Muslim talk, everyone's so judgmental. And I see people arguing over little, like every little thing. Like it could be somebody's outfit, somebody's makeup. They're like, why is she wearing makeup? She's a Muslim. Like, and it makes me think like, am I doing this right? Am I doing enough? Am I doing too little? I know I shouldn't care, but it's hard not to think about those things. A lot of the relationships I've built over the years happened during a completely different season of my life. And part of me wonders, will things be different now? Which they will be. I have this fear of like rejection. Like, will they still invite me out? Will they still relate to me? Will they think I'm judging them? Because I remember when I did wear the hijab, when I'd be around certain hijab, like around hijabis, I'd feel like I'd kind of be on my best behavior. Like I wouldn't try to act crazy. And I guess now I'm thinking like, would I make them feel uncomfortable? Will they think that I'm judging them? Um, or will they think I've changed too much? Saying this out loud makes me think about why it's affected me so much. I'm realizing this isn't really the hijab itself. It's about rejection. Yeah, I think that's one of my biggest fears is fears of rejection. Um, I think it's about me wanting to be accepted. Um, I think every human being wants to belong. Like we all want to be accepted. We all want people to love us. Uh, so when something changes about us, especially something visible, it can feel scary. But then when I think about it, like, what if I take it off because I'm afraid of people's reactions? Then what? Then am I really making that decision for myself or for others? Um, and like the more I think about it, this isn't really a hijab story. It's an identity shift story. The way I talked has changed. The things I value have changed. The way I spend money has changed. The way I move through the world has changed. Um, I genuinely do think Kenya changed me. Spending 3 months away from everything familiar gave me space to think. It gave me space to slow down. Uh, it gave me space to reconnect with myself as well. Um, and understand what I want out of this world. Because I think, I don't want to say America is distracting, but there are a lot of distractions in America, for sure. It's easy to get distracted here. I think I'm mourning the old version of myself, but also I'm excited about the new version. I'm like in a weird place right now. Um, I'm understanding it's a journey. Um, and I know a lot of people that don't think the hijab is a journey, but it is a journey. And it's a journey I'm willing to take, you know. So if you're watching this and you're going through any kind of identity shift, maybe it's your faith, maybe it's your fitness, maybe it's your career, maybe it's a relationship. I just want you to know that you're not the only one figuring it out as you go, because that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Uh, and we're not losing ourselves. I think we're finally becoming who we're supposed to be. And yeah, I guess that's it. But let me know if you've experienced this or anything similar. Um, Drop it in the comments. We'll talk later.